Hey, here we are again. All right. Well, what's going on out there? A lot of crazy stuff. And I can tell you, the path to what you want is through your sheriff. For all you that are after assemblies, understand this. You get the sheriff to make an arrest and then do his job. His job is not dealing with administrative courts. They don't have jurors in there, not jurors as judges. They do tr- jury trial, not trial by jury. Jury trial is legal, administrative slavery. Trial by jury is truth and law. Jury trial operates on assumptions and presumptions in Black's law, Black's book, spelling, and you giving up your rights. That's just how it works. So all this effort, all these truckers all over the world, in my opinion, they're going to the wrong place. And the spirit is marvelous. And the people are supporting them. And we're even seeing law enforcement, policy enforcement, veterans putting out videos talking about the wrong that's happening from these various enforcement departments and agencies. So, looks like American truckers are getting ready to roll. I put the Americans Notice Liability out on social platform where it's accessible. It needs to be shared. I thought it just hit me the other night. It was like, boom. You keep telling people to go to the website and get it. Why not just start passing it around? So that's what we're doing. Now, the last video I did, my eyes were so tired. I, I didn't even want to put my glasses on to try and read anything. But later I took a look at the comments, and one of the fellas, I think it was a fella, because I was talking about the money, the donations, that there's 4 ways to donate, and that they're all going to the same account, so same bank account. So keeping the accounting of everything is going to be easy. And then I got apparently asked a question: is creditor or debtor? And then just before I clicked off, he put in a question mark. Well, let's just say I'm the responsible party. Okay. I'm the responsible party for dealing with the war chest. And we've got a constitutional accountability committee, and I am accountable. So let's do some accounting. Just about an hour ago, got a $200 donation. That made the total for the last 3 days. Picked up way too many pieces of paper. I only need one. That made a total for the last 7 days, $315. Now, in the last 90 days, I've seen 765 come from PayPal. And 600 of that's come from out of the country. And it's not from Americans. We've seen $70 come through Cash App. Give Send Go as a goose egg, and GoFundMe, we got $10. So that's a grand total. Now, people, what's the matter with you Americans? Everything I do for free. I got 81 court cases facilitated. There's 81 notary jurat processes. That's 81 documents that were printed. That's 81 documents that were created. Now, if you want to hold your servants accountable, you need law enforcement. You're not going to get that by protesting to the enemy. You're not. You need law enforcement to bring the enemy into your court. Now, your foreign people got a lot of people energy going into assemblies. You get assemblies formed, you hold a trial, you go to the sheriff, and the sheriff does nothing. It's true. And then, out of frustration, you take your stuff into administrative courts, and then people end up getting trapped in that assumption and presumption and end up in jail. So look, jail or prison, look, your path to freedom and liberty and righteousness and justice is with law enforcement. And I see hundreds of thousands of dollars getting raised for billboards for a mandate and to get a governor arrested. And I don't know that there's a sheriff in the jurisdiction that's going to do it. Sheriff's jurisdictions, I believe, to their county. That's how they're all acting. But now, here recently, I see some videos of law enforcement and by law enforcement and veterans, men that are speaking up, saying what they're seeing is not right. So that's good. And we got people from not here in America supporting me and my efforts to set you free more than any of you Americans, all combined. Why? Why? You got medical science telling you you can't rejuvenate gum tissue. I prove you can in pictures with medical professionals. Government says, we know he's a slave, and I was. So he's going to jail, and I did. And that same month, the government invested $1.8 billion to find another way to rejuvenate gum tissue. But they did it under a false title. Now, I've been fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting, living in poverty, busting my tail, learning curve, excuse me, learning curve after learning curve after learning curve. And I share my information for free. This is what I do. What else is there for me to do? Can't get a job. Got no money to do anything as far as contracting. What are you going to do with no tools? Transportation is not dependable. Transportation that can't even move when the snow is good. What are you going to do? What are you going to do when everyone is afraid to associate with you? Afraid to watch your video? Afraid to give you a thumbs up? Afraid to make a comment? Aren't you tired of living in fear? Own your authority, people. Do something with that Americans Notice of Liability. Do something about dealing with your sheriff. Just looking to raise $50,000 to put the Constitutional Accountability Committee out on the road. Serve these court cases on these sheriffs and undersheriffs in 81 counties. Deal with the two treasonous counties, Kalkaska County and Barry County, so that we can stand with our servants, the ones below the sheriff, the ones the sheriff can arrest, all of them. As far as I'm concerned, every one of them needs to be called into a court. To know treason and not call out treason is treason. To know treason and to hide it, conceal it, give it aid and comfort, that's treason. So anyways, I want to come on here. I want to talk about the money. It's needed. The paper ain't free. The printing ain't free. The gas isn't free. We got 83 counties to visit. We got 81 to bring into our court. 2 already been into our court. 90 days, haven't seen $1,000 of support. And the majority of the money has come from outside of America. So what's wrong, Americans? Now look, we got truckers all over the world driving, get where they're going, make a blockade and honk their horns. And the people come out and they support them. They bring them food, they bring them fuel, they bring them cheer. They bring garbage bags to hang up so that they keep the grounds clear. And we see tyranny. We see tyranny from the public servants. And now American truckers are getting ready to go drive all the way across the country to go complain to the enemy and honk their horns. Why not deal with the sheriff? Why not? Well, we've seen a couple videos. My understanding is we're going to see another one. It's going to happen in another state. It's not going to happen here in Michigan. And that's a beautiful thing. Should be happening in every state. This one's going to be pretty powerful. I think it's going to be one of the best ones you've seen yet. But just wait until we do Michigan. So it's time to step up, people. Do a fundraiser. Get together with your friends. If you got a buck, send a buck. If you got 50,000, send 50,000. We got to make 2 trips. Everything's going to be video recorded. We'll be posting the assembly join-up sheets in the lobby of every sheriff department. Grand jury pool, join-up. We'll be putting Gretchen Whitmer's court case in the lobby of every sheriff's department, along with her wanted poster. We'll be putting every sheriff and undersheriff in our court. We're going to find out which ones are going to be treasonous rats and which ones are going to be good public servants, honor their oath. And it's a formula for the rest of the country to follow. It may be a formula for other countries to follow. Sheriff is one man in the county. Sheriff Mack's got 400 of them in his posse. About 400, I hear. There's a good chance the majority of them are good men that need to know we got their back, as long as they got our back. So people, we need some money to make this happen. It's up to you. It is up to you. So I'll keep a complete accounting. $81 notaries at $10 a piece, that'd be $810. What about the printing? How'd you get it done, Ethan? Well, a credit union, they do notary work for free. And I'm with a credit union. So for those of you who are dealing with money issues and you want to file a court case, you need a notary jurat. If you're with a bank, maybe you want to consider moving over to a credit union. In the library, they got a great printer there, and they've been working on donations. So I've been donating. So between the library, being kind, taking donations, and being with a credit union where the notary jurat service is free, and me doing all the documentation, and me doing all the facilitating, we got it done. Now it needs to be served. It needs to be recorded. And all these sheriffs and undersheriffs need to be held to account. I'm expanding jurisdiction of these sheriffs statewide. And we got their backs as long as they got ours. They need deputizing powers that they don't have, they got it. They need 100 men, they got it. They want 1,000 men, they got it. 10,000 men, 100,000 men, they got it. As long as they got our back, we got theirs. And they'll be able to call every other good sheriff and undersheriff department in too, because jurisdiction is expanded statewide. All right. That's my report. That's my message. Hi, Susan. Hi, Gloria. All right. Good evening. Good evening. Yeah, I appreciate the support, all of it. People sharing the videos. Those brave enough to give a comment, a thumbs up, it's all appreciated. And all the thanks. I've gotten a lot of thanks. It's very much appreciated. I want you all to be healthy. I share my trade secrets and my intellectual property on oral health with cannabis. It's all free. It's all on my videos. Freely Giving series. So let's own our authority, people. Let's get our sheriffs in line so we have law enforcement, and you'll get your grand juries. Because the sheriff is going to have to convene a grand jury. And since we don't have assemblies in most places, we don't have grand juries in most places. Doesn't mean they can't just get established. So sheriff will go maybe talk with the mayor. Mayor, we got to convene a grand jury. Or maybe in some counties it's going to be, mayor, we need to convene about 500 grand juries. And we're going to keep them busy for a while, case after case after case. I believe that's the case in many counties. Now, you can hold court without a judge. You can hold court without jurors. But you can't get justice without the jurors. You can get a good outcome from your trial, and no court has jurisdiction to rehear it. So we've had many in court, and they agree to charge of treason in open court of record. Where's the law enforcement? Where is the law enforcement? Where's the accountability? Rebel, good to see you, brother. How'd the library go? Thank you, Gloria. I appreciate that. I appreciate your commitment there. I believe Rebel was going to the library to facilitate his notice of liability. I think Rebel ought to get on them CBs, start talking with the truckers. That'd be a good one for you, Rebel. Dust them old babies off and start talking with the truckers. We got to find ways to communicate when communications start getting difficult. All the banning that goes on, all the shadow banning makes it difficult. I think CBs could be very effective with these truckers sharing information. Again, I'll talk about when the constitutional accountability kicks off. We don't want no rebel rousers. We don't want streets blocked. We don't want horns honking. You want to show up and support, you park your car, your vehicle, whatever it is, in an appropriate spot, and you get a ride over to the sheriff's department. Get dropped off or walk. And peacefully and powerfully support the Constitutional Accountability Committee and the People's Bureau of Investigation while they conduct their operation. And while you're there, you go in, you can put your John Henry on the paperwork. for the assembly and the grand jury pool. You could also turn in Americans Notice of Liability to your sheriff. That's what's going to happen. It's going to be a beautiful thing. Just need a little bit of money. And we're going to make this happen in a very short period of time. Matter of days. All right. Hey, Josh Eddy. Who talks on the CB? I think you do, brother. I hear Ottawa on the CB today and yesterday, and I'm out here in Washington State. Yeah, man. CBs can be very effective. I had one back in the day. My high school buddy, Kevin, his older brothers were truck drivers. His father was a truck driver. Kevin, he got into truck driving. But before we got out of high school, both of us had CB radios in our cars. They come in quite handy. But mine was stolen. I parked my car in a carpool one day, got a ride. When I came back to get my car, my CB was gone. Do we also need to send notice of liability to our city manager and our governor? Well, you serve that notice of liability on your sheriff. He is the highest law enforcement officer on the land. And you order him. You see, you order him in his lobby, underneath his audio, his video, and you recording it yourself. You order him to contact all the bylaw police, all the policy enforcers. That means state police, city police, village police, township police, private police, and tell them that road piracy has ended. Pirates on the land has ended in this county. You just own your authority. They're trespassing. And all these sheriffs are working with the enemy. They're all working with the county prosecutor in administrative process. That county prosecutor is a member of the bar, the British Accredited Registry, not aligned with American values, with American fundamentals. They're British agents, and they are administering free men because we have been so dumbed down that we give away our rights. I've explained this in great detail. I'm going to keep on talking about it. But it's time to take action. So you can all take action with the Americans Notice of Liability. Facilitate it for yourself. Keep your original and make copies. Always serve the copy, because when the day comes that you do get in front of that grand jury, you're going to want your original. Right? All right. Does that answer your question, Gloria? She says, okay, thanks, before I even said. Signals flowing nicely. Good. Right on. So then that notice of liability is good for pretty much any situation. And what it is for those who are just learning about it, it's court of record document. And you enter court. Comes now affiant. One of the people, as seen in the several states. And then a few more words, and then it gets to makes the following claims with the following claims, something like that. I'm sorry. I'm just brain farting on that first paragraph right now, but it's powerful. And that first paragraph, you coming into court, that does three things. That sets your jurisdiction way up here, way above the three equal branches of your state government. And that's way above the federal, because your state is there to protect you from federal overreach. And your superior court, or your Supreme Court, is here in the judicial. The superior court is the people's court, the highest court, where we don't play games with assumptions and presumptions and slavery and entrapment and treason. No, up here, we'll hold them accountable for all of that. That's why we need law enforcement. You just own your authority, you'll never be in one of them administrative courts. You learn how to talk, how to think like an American, you'll never get trapped in that administrative process. Oh, you might get, you can't stop a criminal from being a criminal. You can't stop an enemy from being an enemy. But you can sure stand your ground, and you've got a duty and obligation to defend yourself and your country. All right. Well, all right, everybody. That's your update. That's your motivational talk from Ethan Caniseed. Springtime's coming. I'm going to be planting marijuana everywhere I can on this property. Not worrying about no cage. Not worrying about no amounts. Hope that we get good weather. All right. You're welcome, Josh. You're all very welcome, and I thank you all very much. Much love. Be good. Be good to your fellow man. Be good to yourself. Liability and deal with the sheriff.